was born on 6th May 1911 in Ahmedabad. Her father, Mr. Ambalal, was a textile milliner and was very liberal when it comes to upbringing of daughters and son. Failing to find a school which fitted his aspirations, he set up a school in his house only for his children, and from the modest beginning in 1921, when Miridula was just 10 years old, the retreat school, as it was called, grew up and functioned till 1946. Miridula acquired her initial education in retreat school set up in her house only. She grew up as a very independent lady, and she joined in her pretty young age the Bal Sena Congress and Shishu Vibhag of the Akhil Bharati Charkha Sangh. She joined the Dandi March and Satyagraha movement started by Mahatma Gandhi. She organized Vanar Sena and Prabhat Fairies under the guidance of Gandhiji. For these activities, she was put in Sabarmati jail for 3 weeks, released and again apprehended and put again for another 6 months in jail. She joined Indian National Congress in 1930. She was appointed the captain of the Swayam Sangh by Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel. In 1936, she became the General Secretary of the Indian National Congress, the first woman ever to become the General Secretary of the Indian National Congress. She fought all her life fighting against women being treated as a separate and inferior. With freedom came partition, and devoted fully in rehabilitating the migrants affected in partition. She had direct access to both the Prime Ministers of India and Pakistan, and hence could cut through a lot of red tapes. She crossed the border frequently, fearlessly, moved about in Pakistan and Azad Kashmir to recover abducted Hindus and the Sikh women. The best in Miridula emerged in these years, and her capacity to work as well as qualities as a leader and organizer became established. From 1953, Miridula devoted herself to Kashmir and stood by Sheikh Abdullah and his supporters even when they were accused of treason. As a result, she had to resign or leave every organization she had become connected with, and finally she was detained in Tihar jail under Preventive Detention Act. Later, she was put under house arrest in her home in Ahmedabad. At this time, Amnesty International adopted her as a prisoner of conscience, and she was instrumental in starting an Indian branch of Amnesty International. Of all the prominent women who took part in the freedom struggle, Miridula was among the very few who did not hold any high office after independence. She was an activist to the core. She was totally dedicated to the cause she took up: the country's freedom, Hindu-Muslim unity, rehabilitation of the refugees, recovery of abducted women, women's equality, and of course Kashmir. Apart from her parents, the two prime the influences in her life were Gandhiji and Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. Miridula Sarabhai never married in her life. She died in October 1974. Miridula Sarabhai was a rare human being, totally sincere, straightforward, self-efficacious and simple, remarkably brave and strong, with the rare courage of conviction, the spirit of public service and integrity. Thank you very much.